I'm not done with the body of the rifle yet, but since we're moving to the magwell, this is the magazine. It is the this is the magazine. It is a little taller than most M4 mags. I didn't bring one for comparison, but just trust me when I say this is a little taller. Here are the trademarks. It has Crayola, makes it white, so I put Crayola in there. Scratches pretty badly. It's made out of tin. I assume it's made of tin or just really thin steel. But you know, here's the top of the magazine. You open the door, the trap door to feed in BBs, and here's the quick wind system. This is a high cap. You wind it until the BBs come up, and you pull this down to release the BBs. You know, standard stuff. Everyone knows this. Here's the bottom of the mag. Has nice G&G trades, G&G armament, Cal 5.56 millimeter, which is realistic. More stuff about G&G, some weird G&G logo, never seen. And this screw is held in place by this little metal tab, this little metal square, which is held into place at the bottom of the bag right there. That broke off, so now this keeps coming out. This little screw's just wobbling around right there, so bad design, doesn't work too well. So look at the inside of the mag. There's your big winding wheel. Here's where the BBs stay, and this little lead tab popped off. I had to glue it back in place. So G&G mags are pretty bad from my experience, at least. I'm sure other people have good experience. Here's a look at the mag in the gun. See if you can tell from something looks a little off about it. It's a lot longer than other M4 mags. The G&G Combat Machine's magwell is a little loose. It's a little loose. All the mags I've tested kind of move around a little, including the plastic mid caps move around. The plastic mid caps, I don't know if they lock into place, but they should. Moving back to the body, here's the charging handle, which was spring loaded, but I took out the spring. This tab, this steel tab is like a locking lever on the side of the gun. You have to depress it to pull out the charging handle. It should spring back into the gun, but you know, I took out the thing. It is spring loaded, which is nice, and you don't have to depress it to put it back into place. It just goes in. Nice charging handle, commonly cocked like this, like that. You know, there's tons of ways to cock this, and cocking it reveals your hop up, like I mentioned before, and it also moves the fake bolt. Interesting to have a fake bolt, shiny, looks nice. Okay, so moving up, we have our sights. Give you a nice sight alignment here. There's the sights on the Combat Machine. They are standard M4 sights. They're quite nice. And this folds down to have a peep. I'm not going to show people on camera because it's really hard. It looks like a tiny hole, but it turns out to be an okay size once your eye focuses. I'm going to do a full look over at the carrying handle. So I'm going to take this off for now. These twist off to reveal Picatinny rail underneath. Gives your M4 a whole different look now, but you have to buy a separate rear sight, which shouldn't be much of a problem. So you have your full Picatinny rail underneath, which is made of the ABS, all one with the upper receiver, so it's nice, solid construction. So there you have it, a whole different look with the M4. Okay, so next we have the carrying handle, which is a really good carrying handle. I've tried it on other guns. Of course, you can't line up your sights with this, putting on other guns, but I don't have many attachments, so I just consider it one. Okay, so these are the things to attach it to a rail. You unscrew these, and this plate becomes loose, and you can put it on Picatinny rails like a scope, any attachment. This part right here is metal. It is aluminum. Inside this is G&G armament, which is a nice touch. You can identify these parts if it gets mixed up. Here's the I guess, a windage elevation. Turns this sight left and right. So that's cool. Has a little R, and it's nicely textured, nice metal. Kind of little texturing on it. This is, I assume, steel, which is a nice touch. The sight is aluminum. It says O2 on it, which is cool, and it flips down for the peep. I'm not sure if you can see this, but right here are some lines, some adjustment lines. If you ever want to get this dead center again after moving it, line up this little line on the bottom of the sight with the line in the middle, and you should have back in the middle again. Right here is the adjustment for height. This moves the entire sight unit up. See, it has some number markings on it. Good texturing to get a good grip. I think this is made out of plastic. It uses a ball and spring system on the bottom, so it's good clicking, just like this selector switch. You can see it rising and lowering. It is nice. It's got good numbering on it. For some reason this is flat right there, and it is a pretty good system. It's adjustable on either side. Here at the top it says GG for G&G, and up and down with this screw for some reason, even though you can just use the other side. There is a hole here for mounting a Picatinny rail on top of the carrying handle, so you can have a scope up here instead of replacing this. So that is an option with this rail, with this carrying handle. Overall, it's nice. The overall construction is polymer, and it is a really good carrying handle. G&G combat machines do come with a flash hider attached, just a normal M4 birdcage flash hider. It is probably going to be made out of plastic and orange. Some M4s, I assume, I'm not exactly sure, come with a steel one, but I highly doubt it for this gun. Alright, so continuing back in the gun, we come to the back of the gun here. This is a metal plate that goes in between the gun itself and the buffer tube. The buffer tube is threaded for some reason, even though this part right here is all one piece with the buffer tube, so it really doesn't matter, just for looks really. These are aluminum, including the buffer tube. The buffer tube is good solid construction. It's held on by a screw that goes into the gearbox, so this is a strong point for the gun. It is painted nicely. All the metal on this gun is painted quite nicely, very scratch resistant in my experience. This is the standard stock, standard M4 stock. See, those are the positions. The entire stock is made out of ABS plastic. I'd say not polymer, ABS. It has a bit of wobble to it. It is adjusted by depressing this lever and letting go of it and pushing it forward. The lever is also plastic. There is a little thing here that you can unscrew to take this whole lever off, which is magnetic steel, I assume. The adjustment lever has a diamond pattern for the to depress it. Feels pretty good on the fingers. This is all waffled. I'm just gonna call it waffled for now. Standard M4 style. This is a hole so that you can see the numbering, but this has no numbers on it. The other side is the same. Says G&G armament flexible stock, and it is quite flexible because it's plastic. It has this hole here for a sling which goes around, and there's another sling point here which only swivels to the left side of the gun for some reason, and then you swivel it back and it stays right here. Try to get it to go more, it won't go, so that's kind of weird. Here are the holes. They're pretty deep in there and they're pretty strong. This is all good strong metal, very scratch resistant too. Here's the back of the buttstock, all checkered, diamond pattern checkers. They're quite nice. And the buffer tube is hollow, where on most M4s I've seen, Airsoft mostly, it's got a little tiny circle here and it's flat metal. This is a hollow buffer tube. I guess it cuts down on weight or whatever's in there. But on a real M4, there's a spring going back and forth in here for the recoil to lower recoil, and this is very unrealistic since there's a hole in it. So overall, the construction on the metal is really nice aluminum. It is strong, it's not too heavy. Overall, this gun is maybe 6 pounds. With the battery, since it's a different battery than you probably end up using, and the mag fully loaded, maybe 7 pounds. That's pushing it. This is a really lightweight gun. You could definitely feel this all day. If you had a scope on it, which I've done before, it gets a little heavy. But for the price of an M4 that has everything you need, it has everything that an M4 would come with standard stock. This is definitely a good buy. If you could pick it up at your local store, which is what I did, it'd probably be a lot cheaper, maybe $120. You know, I paid $200, but the extras were worth it. Overall, the only upgrades I would recommend is a new motor, since the G&G motors are kind of crap, and really that's about it. So it was my first M4 and probably my last M4. It's been nice having it, but it's time for it to go. Gonna get that F2000 soon, or I hope. Also, I'm selling the Thompson, so take a look for that on eBay. There'll be links, and I'll probably cut this part out of the review. And that concludes my review for the G&G GR16 EBB, standing for electric blowback AEG M4A1 variant.